Trump the beast of Revelations? A look at the man who has already been resurrected many times. 5. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies and to exercise its authority for 42 months. Revelations 13:5, King James Version. In this video we will examine evidence to suggest that President Trump is one of the beasts of Revelations and will be responsible for destroying America, the daughter of Babylon. The one thing I have to correct is that people call President Trump the Antichrist. This is not correct, as we are all the Antichrists. Here is a verse that tells us people are Antichrist when they act contrary to what Jesus teaches. And every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. And this is the spirit of the Antichrist, of which you have heard that it is coming, and now it is already in the world. First Epistle of John. As you can read, people are the Antichrist when they act contrary to what Jesus teaches, and many are like that type of person. Remember that many Antichrists have come before him. The Apostle John also teaches that people are shown an image of this Antichrist and are astonished, not because it is Donald Trump or Jared Kushner, but because it is themselves. You see, we have all rejected Christ at one time or another. This is what God is showing us in the end times as we approach the return of Christ. You will not learn this in any modern-day Christian church or work group. They are still teaching a third-grade version of Christianity in these modern-day churches. If you're lucky like me, you learned from true experts in the Middle East who know how to interpret the Bible. The critics worldwide are correct when they call Donald Trump evil, as he has proven this throughout his life that he is less than stellar when it comes to morality. Donald Trump is the pinnacle of evil because he will be possessed by the devil himself, and he and the 10 kings to come will hate the prostitute America and will destroy her with fire. Take a look at this next set of Bible verses. And the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the prostitute. They will make her desolate and naked, and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. 17 For God has put it into their hearts to carry out his purpose by being of one mind and handing over their royal power to the beast, until the words of God are fulfilled. 18 And the woman that you saw is the great city that has dominion over the kings of the earth. Of course, the great city spoken of is New York City, and any conspiracy theorist worth his books and website will tell you the banks on Wall Street not only run the US government, but they run governments worldwide. Here is another Bible verse from Revelations that should give you a further clue as to who the beast is and what country he is ruling over. And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. For the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. This beast had 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads can be interpreted as the 7 continents that make up the world's land masses. They are as follows: North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Europe, Australia. What about the 10 horns also mentioned in these verses? Those will be rulers that the beast will put into power during his final reign over the daughter of Babylon. Who recognizes the identity of the beast or Antichrist mentioned in the verses? I thought only a small group that I had trained within the Middle East. Yet I am relieved to find that many people are starting to recognize this fact, and it may save a lot of people's lives. The first person who called Trump out is J.D. Vance. Though he didn't identify Trump using any Bible names, he did identify President Trump as America's Hitler. Vance's former Yale Law School roommate received a text message from Vance. This message was sent in 2016 and is quoted here. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical a-hole like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad, and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. That Baptist News, which is the official news of the Southern Baptist Conference, also chimed in on President Trump. In the article they speak to the authoritarians that Trump and his administration rule by using technology. I agree with the author that Elon Musk leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to freedom for Americans, as he has created a neural link system that further expanded to be a payment system using the brain link he created. In the article he states that Musk uses this neural link system to feed Medicare and Medicaid data into it, albeit illegally and unconstitutionally. Remember that there are many evangelicals who fawn over Trump, as I wrote about in Substack articles. The one thing that I only briefly mentioned is his fake resurrection from the gunshot wound that barely grazed his ear. What we may look at as multiple resurrections is his many scandals that would have destroyed other public personalities, but President Trump was barely grazed by them as well. For instance, he has been publicly accused of sexual abuse, has boasted about his sexual exploits, remember, grab them by the pussy, and his bankruptcies and lying about his income to avoid taxes. Just one of these scandals would have destroyed any other president as well as any Hollywood celebrity. Yet Trump is still with us and about to take us to war that will get this country completely destroyed in a nuclear holocaust. Though President Trump and Elon Musk have not directly attacked Christians yet, Musk did criticize both Lutheran and Catholic groups for misspending funds that were supposed to be used to house, feed, and shelter migrants. Yet Trump has ICE out there arresting migrants and deporting them. Granted, they are violent criminals, but it shows you how contradictory he and his administration really are. The author of this article also criticizes President Trump for dissolving USAID as it gives a lifeline to people globally who are in need. Two problems with that ascertain: 1. President Trump did not eliminate USAID altogether, only certain categories where it could be proven that waste, abuse, and fraud were occurring. 2. The president has no authority under the Constitution to hand out money like we are one big welfare office. Southern Baptist minister Robert Jeffress also seems to think that President Trump has unlimited power and likes to quote Romans 13, where he said the following: "Gives the government the authority to do whatever, whether it's assassination, capital punishment, or evil punishment to quell the actions of evildoers." Wow! That should worry everyone right there, as America is one of the most powerful militaries in the world and we have used that military to conduct a lot of illegal activities around the world in the name of national security. Though Christians are not being killed yet in the name of Trumpism, President Trump has threatened to kill Christians and Jews. Yes, you heard that right. Last week, members of Congress were threatened by President Trump over a video they made reminding officers in the military to reject unlawful orders. President Trump responded by calling the video sedition and threatening the members of Congress, and further threatened that their behavior was punishable by death. Michigan Democratic Senator Elissa Slotkin speaks to the threat that she and other lawmakers received by President Trump. You can watch the video on YouTube at the address shown here. This statement by this senator should send chills down your spine, as you can clearly see that Trump is getting ready to persecute Christians, and it will start with people that he will convince us are the enemies of the United States. The Uniform Code of Military Justice makes it illegal for service members to willfully disobey an order from a superior officer unless it violates the Constitution, federal law, or the orders of a superior officer. President Trump's calls for the arrest of members of Congress go back to his first administration, and right now he is going after Arizona Senator Mark Kelly for his part in the video. President Trump ordered Pete Hegseth, Secretary of the War Department, to censure and demote the retired Navy fighter pilot. Senator Kelly is suing the Pentagon for their actions. Senator Kelly was quoted in the article as saying that this is the first time he heard of a retired member of the U.S. military being censured and possibly demoted due to constitutionally protected free speech. Legal experts in the article also said that demoting someone after retirement is unheard, and demotion only comes about after retirement due to actions taken during their service. Senator Kelly also told the AP Associated Press that this is an attempt to silence critics of the current administration. Can only Americans see this? The answer is no. Others around the world can see that President Trump is the Antichrist, though like I say they don't understand the Bible that well. But the Antichrist spirit, which is anti-godly, is manifesting in President Trump, who, as I said before, is possessed by the devil. A Russian general has made a YouTube video where he calls President Trump the Antichrist and says that Russia and President Putin are godly and will destroy both President Trump and America. That video can be seen at the address shown here. This general statement fulfills all 7 books of the Old Testament and revelations of the New Testament, as America is the daughter of Babylon and will be completely destroyed by fire. Conclusions. I'm sure that if you look and search diligently you can find hundreds or even thousands of others who call Donald Trump the Antichrist. I have to say they may have an early bit of evidence about President Trump that he is either the last beast of Revelations or any earlier beast, as there is more than one. For those who don't know, President Trump's son-in-law's business address in New York City is what got people up in arms early on. An address that I might add the United States Post Office changed in response to the public outcry. You see, his business address in New York City was 666 South 5th Avenue. What will the beast of Revelations be known by? The number of men, which is 666. Thank you for watching. Share, like, and comment. William K. Zabel.